everybody, and welcome to Trade with Precision free newsletter. It's the 19th of March 2018, and I'm Tamar Mehr. And today I want to take a look at a couple of interesting trading opportunities that might be on the card for setting up this week. And I'm looking at different pairs and I'm looking at different scenarios and different opportunities there. So let's start with one of my favorite, and that is the US dollar versus the Canadian. And what we can see here on the daily chart, we've got a really strong uptrend, clear series of higher highs and higher lows. We pull back into the buy zone, that area between the 10 and the 20 moving averages. We broke above this really significant level of 1.3 and continued higher. So currently on the daily chart, we are overextended. We also have a nice convergence here on the momentum indicators. Looking here at the weekly chart, and we can see that the weekly chart, the big picture, is also in an uptrend, and we can see that level of 1.29 and above it 1.3, quite nice levels on this market, and they were all nicely broken with a really strong and big bullish weekly candle. Moving into the monthly, and the monthly also now confirmed an uptrend. We've got a low, high, higher low, and by breaking this level we also confirmed here an uptrend. So we've got agreement on all the higher time frames. So simply what I'm looking for here is a pullback into the 1.3 level, a bullish candle in the buy zone rejecting the 1.3 area, and a continuation of this beautiful move. A similar story we can see at pound versus the Canadian. So over here on the daily, it's a lovely daily chart, clear series of higher highs and higher lows, moving averages fanning and in the correct order. In this case, we also broke above the 1.8 level. It's a big round number. It's a nice level, previous swing high as well. Nice convergence here on the indicator. So similarly, I'm looking for a pullback into the buy zone, rejecting the 1.8 level and a continuation of the move. Let's just take a quick Fibonacci retracement from the low into the high, and we can see that we also have a nice cluster in here. So the 50% of the Fibonacci retracement is clustering quite nicely with this previous swing high and the 1.8 round number. So nice elements, nice technical ingredients at that level to look for a potential entry if and when the market will pull back into that area. Looking here at the weekly chart, the weekly is also in an uptrend. We can see also on the pound versus the Canadian, nice strong bullish week for last week. Quick check on the monthly, and we can see the monthly is also in an uptrend. We do have here a higher low, so we've got a low, high, higher low, and now a higher high. We've got a confirmation on the monthly chart as well. Now I want to take a look here on the euro versus the Canadian, and the story here is a little bit different. So let's first start from the higher time frame and into the monthly we go, and the monthly is in a very nice uptrend, and we can see we are also overextended. We broke the level of around 1.6 here. Going down into the weekly, we do have a nice and strong uptrend. We also overextended and looking for a pullback. However, when we get into the daily, it's a little bit of a different story. So what we had is a very nice and strong uptrend, a pullback into the buy zone, small bullish candle in the buy zone, and a continuation higher. But right now we made a higher high. This candle high is slightly higher than the previous high, but I would like to see a continuation of the move. What I'd like to see is the same as we've seen with the pound versus the Canadian or the US dollar versus the Canadian, that we actually made a real higher high, a strong higher high. In this case, it's sort of running around the same area, so we constantly pushing into that level but haven't been able to break through that level. Also, as we made that slightly higher high, the indicator started to flat. So in this case, what I'm looking for is a break above this level and then a pullback to test it from above. I'll be very cautious to enter into a trade when we've got this level up above here. So looking for a break above it, another push higher, and then a pullback to test it from above. The last one that I want to take a look at is Aussie versus the Canadian. So looking at the Aussie versus the Canadian, and what we've got here, and let's just look here at the daily, is we actually are in an uptrend. We broke the parity part, we pull back to test it from above, continued higher, and now we pull back again. We are sitting right now in the buy zone and at the previous swing high. However, I need to see reasons that actually we're finding support at this area before continuing higher. Let's take a look before we look at the lower time frame, see how the higher time frame look like. So now you can see here we are in an uptrend on the weekly chart, but what we do have, which is quite different to the other market, is a very strong bearish rejection candle. So we try to move higher and completely rejected that move. So that is quite a bearish sign. On the other markets, we ended up last week with a strong green bullish candle. On the monthly chart, we don't have an uptrend as well. So we came up into this level around the 1.03. We haven't even crossed as close to it, and we started to reject it. So that's another different on this market. Now, if we'll take a look at the lower time frame, we can see that the lower time frame are still downtrending. So I don't have signs yet that this pullback is over. So it could be that the Aussie versus the Canadian is a weaker market. So I'm keeping an eye on this area. The daily chart looks beautiful, but the weekly and the monthly chart has its issues. Looking at the lower time frame to see, are we going to change direction, find some support at this 1.01 level. And if you want to know more about the trading opportunities that we're talking, the way we analyze the market in order to look for areas for potential entries, then please join us on our next free webinar. So it's going to be the 6 steps toward better trading, and we're going to cover the complete rules for the precision trend flow strategy. We're going to talk about trade management condition, how to apply this strategy in any market and any time frame, and how to identify strong trending market. So this webinar is going to run on Tuesday, the 20th of March at 7 p.m. London, 3 p.m. New York, 6 a.m. Sydney, and 8 a.m. Auckland on the next day. Happy trading, everyone, and I'll speak to you soon.